What's going on, family? This is Scrapbook Boxing, Museum of the Forgotten Fisticuffs series. I want to take a look at Oakland Billy Smith, light heavyweight champion in California, phenomenal fighter. He would fight a fighter by the name of Bobby Zander. And that was a neighborhood rivalry because Bobby Zander was from Los Angeles, California. So that would turn out to be a fantastic fight. But Oakland Billy Smith would fight fighters such as Jimmy Bivens, who was a murderous row fighter, Curtis Hatchet Shepard, fantastic fighter. He would defeat him in 10 rounds. Jimmy Bivens would face Lem Franklin, lose to him in 9 rounds. Lloyd Marshall, Joe Walcott. Joe Walcott would become heavyweight champion of the world. So Jimmy Bivens was a fantastic fighter. Oakland Billy Smith would face Lloyd Marshall. Lloyd Marshall would be light heavyweight. And he would face a fighter such as Charlie Burley. He would defeat him in 10 rounds. That would be an outstanding victory for Lloyd Marshall. He would face Lem Franklin, lose to him in 9 rounds. He would face Holman Williams. Just to name a few fighters that Lloyd Marshall would face. He was a phenomenal fighter. You want to learn more about Lloyd Marshall? Type in Lloyd Marshall, Scrapbook Boxing, and you'll learn what you need to know about Lloyd Marshall. Oakland Billy Smith would face Ezzard Charles, who would become heavyweight champion of the world. Ezzard Charles, I believe, would be one of the best middleweights of all times, had he stayed at middleweight. He would face Curtis the Hatchet Shepard. Ezzard Charles would face Tammy Mariello. Tammy Mariello would be a Joe Louis opponent and be stopped in the first or second round with Joe Louis. Ezzard Charles would defeat Tammy Mariello in 10 rounds. Ezzard Charles would face Archie Moore several times. He would get a 12-round draw, a 10-round loss. He'll be knocked out in I think it was the 4th round, if my memory serves correctly. He would face Burt Littell. The Burt Littell they called the Chocolate Kid. Burt Littell had a record of 70, 23, 7, and 24 knockouts. Burt Littell would face Coolidge Miller, fantastic African-American fighter. Jake LaMotta, who would become middleweight champion of the world. He would lose that title to Sugar Ray Robinson, as you know, in 1951. Burt Littell would face Holman Williams. I have Holman Williams, the best murderous row fighter. That's just my opinion. He would face Coco Kid, another murderous row welterweight. Sam Baruti. Unfortunately for Sam Baruti, he would be knocked out and killed by Ezzard Charles. He would face Archie Moore. Archie Moore would become light heavyweight champion of the world. He would face Joe Blackwood. Joe Blackwood was from New Jersey. One of the best, I'm telling you, he was an outstanding fighter. One of the best lightweights and welterweights that you can find. He would face Bob Satterfield. Oakland Billy Smith. Oakland Billy Smith would face Bob Satterfield. Bob Satterfield would face Harold the Hercules Johnson. Harold the Hercules Johnson would become light heavyweight champion of the world. Bob Satterfield would face Sam Baruti, Johnny Holman, Nino Valdez, and Holman Williams. Bob Satterfield, either you knocked him out or he knocked you out. Nothing in between. Oakland Billy Smith would face Harold Johnson. Harold Johnson would defeat Johnny Pearsall. Johnny Pearsall was a phenomenal light heavyweight. He would face Eddie Cotton, Joe Walcott, Bob Satterfield, Jimmy the Spoiler Slade. All phenomenal fighters. So Harold Johnson was the goods. Oakland Billy Smith would face Jack Chase. They called him the young Joe Louis before 1942. He would face him 3 times. Jack Chase would be welterweight and light heavyweight. And it was claims that Jack Chase would be the welterweight champion of Colorado. Unfortunately, he would face a fighter by the name of Roy Jack Clipsey. He would knock him out, and 3 days later, Roy Jack Clipsey would die from complications of that fight. Jack Chase would face Archie Moore. He lose to him in 10 rounds. Eddie Booker, defeat him in 15 rounds. Charlie Burley, lose to him in 10 rounds. Leo Zarita, knock him out in 15 rounds. That was a phenomenal fight. He would face Harry Kid Matthews. He would defeat him in 10 rounds. Good victory. Harry Matthews would be a Rocky Marciano opponent. As you know, Rocky Marciano was heavyweight champion of the world. Jack Chase would face Lloyd Marshall, Holman Williams, Coco Kid. He would lose to Coco Kid in 10 rounds. Jack Chase was a dynamic fighter. So let's take a look at the career of Oakland Billy Smith. Now, Oakland Billy Smith began his professional debut in 1944. He would face a fighter by the name of Leroy Wade on July 19th of that year in Oakland, California, and he would defeat him in 6 rounds. August 9th, he would face Bobby Castro, Oakland, California. He would defeat him in 6 rounds. August 16th, Oakland Billy Smith would face Charlie Cato. Charlie Cato, very good fighter. He fought mostly in the West Coast. And he would defeat him in 8 rounds in Oakland, California. August 23rd, R.J. Lewis. He would face him in Oakland, California, knock him out in 3 rounds. September 13th, he would face Jerry Goldberg in Oakland, California. He would knock him out in 8 rounds. October 9th, he would face Jack Chase, murderous road fighter. San Francisco, California, he would lose to him in 10 rounds. November 3rd, Alan Artnick, San Francisco. He would knock him out in 1 round. Phenomenal victory over Alan Artnick. Alan Artnick was a good fighter. November 10th, Bob Smith, San Francisco, California, defeat him in 10 rounds. November 24th, Coco Kid, phenomenal fighter. San Francisco, California, no contest in 3 rounds. In 1945, as you can see, he had a full year. January 3rd, Jack Chase, Oakland, California. He would defeat him in 10 rounds. On February 16th, Al Sheridan, San Francisco, California, would be knocked out in the 4th round by Oakland Billy Smith. Fascinating. March 14th, he would face Newsboy Mitchell. He would face him in Oakland, California. He would lose to him in 4 rounds, but then he would have a repeat on April 11th in Oakland, California. He would defeat him this time in 10 rounds. Roy Miller, fascinating fighter. I'm telling you. May 7th, San Francisco, California. And how Oakland Billy Smith got that victory over Roy Miller, I don't know. But that was a phenomenal victory. That's like beating Mike Tyson when Mike Tyson was at his best. In terms of stature. You know, no one thinks he would defeat him. May 23rd, Newsboy Mitchell. 8-round knockout. Watson Jones fought him twice, May 31st and June 19th. Once in Oakland, California, and once in Los Angeles. He would knock him out in 11 rounds in Oakland, and he would defeat him in 10 rounds in Los Angeles. Fantastic victory for Oakland Billy Smith. Kenny Watkins, good fighter, fought him twice. August 29th and September 25th. He would knock him out in 2 rounds in Oakland and knock him out in 7 rounds in Los Angeles. Charlie Burley, San Francisco, lost to him in 10 rounds. October 8th of 1945. And what a way to end the year. November 22nd, he would face Buddy Miller, Oakland, California. He would knock him out in 8 rounds. See, if you know some of these fighters, you would be amazed when you watch some of these profiles, because, I mean, it's like equivalent to, I'm not saying whether it's skill-wise or not. I'm not going there. I'm just saying as far as, if you look at some of the fights today, whether it's Danny Garcia and Keith Thurman and, you know, all of the guys you have today, it's like fighting them all in 1 month. That's the quality of the time that these guys fought, that these guys were. I mean, it's amazing. 1946, January 15th, Buddy Miller, Los Angeles, California. He would knock him out in 4 rounds. January 29th, Jimmy Bivens, Oakland, California. He would lose to him in 10 rounds. March 20th, Lloyd Marshall, Oakland, California, knock him out in 9 rounds. April 24th, Charlie Burley, Oakland, California. He would lose to him in 10 rounds. So as you can see here, he faced Lloyd Marshall, Jimmy Bivens, Archie Moore, Ezard Charles, Bobby Zander, who was a phenomenal fighter, Charlie Burley, in 1 year. It's amazing. He lost to Burley in 10 rounds. He lost to Charles in 10 rounds. But he knocked out Lloyd Marshall. He defeated Bobby Zander. And he knocked out Billy Graham, who was another good fighter. He had a 12-round draw with Archie Moore. Fascinating. 1947. January 14th. Bobby Zander again. Los Angeles, California. He would defeat him in 10 rounds. Another good victory. February 17th. Ezard Charles, Cincinnati Cobra. He would be knocked out by Ezard Charles in the 5th round. April 25th. Big Boy Brown, Honolulu, Hawaii. He would knock him out in 6 rounds. June 9th. Jack Chase, San Francisco, California. He would defeat him in 10 rounds. 1948. Look at this schedule. This is crazy. January 21st. Burt Littell, phenomenal murderous road fighter, Oakland, California. He would lose to him in 10 rounds. Then February 23rd, he's fighting like once a month. He would face Charlie Banks in Cincinnati, Ohio, knock him out in 10 rounds. March 19th, Bob Amos, Dayton, Ohio, knock him out in 4 rounds. March 29th, Bob Fockworth, good fighter, Cincinnati, Ohio, knock him out in 3 rounds. April 26th, Charlie Banks, Dayton, Ohio. He would defeat him in 10 rounds. Archie Moore, Cincinnati. He would lose to him in 10 rounds. He would fight on May 5th, 1948. Bob Satterfield, June 29th, Chicago. He would be stopped by Bob Satterfield in the 1st round. I told you Bob Satterfield would be knocked out or knockout. One or the other. It's either you or him. Burt Littell, Cincinnati. July 14th. He would lose in 10 rounds. September 20th, Archie Moore, Baltimore. He would be knocked out in 4 rounds. He would face Charlie Banks September 7th and defeat him in 10 rounds. November 29th, Joe Louis, Cincinnati, 4-round exhibition. 1949, January 24th, Dave Clark, Cincinnati. He would knock him out in 3 rounds. February 28th, Bob Eisler, Cincinnati, Ohio. He knocked him out in 4 rounds. Fascinating. March 28th, Bob Amos, Cincinnati, Ohio, would defeat him in 10 rounds. Leonard Marrow, good fighter, light heavyweight. May 4th, Oakland, California. He would be stopped in 3 rounds by Leonard Marrow. Grant Butcher, good fighter, October 14th, San Francisco. He would defeat him in 8 rounds. Clarence Henry, December 12th, San Francisco, California. No contest in 8 rounds. 1950, November 16th, Burt Littell, El Paso, Texas. No contest in 10 rounds. Rusty Payne, November 21st, 1950, Portland, Oregon. Knock him out in 4 rounds. See how these guys travel. 1951, January 2nd, he fought 1 time that year. Archie Moore, Portland. He would be stopped in 8 rounds. 1952, June 5th, Julian Keene, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Knock him out in 4 rounds. September 23rd, Billy Black, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. He would knock him out in 1 round. Fascinating. See if I can show you some of these fighters. Here you have Lem Franklin. Fascinating fighter was Lem Franklin. You see here Jimmy Bivens. Fascinating. Jimmy Bivens. Coco Kid, outstanding middleweight or welterweight. Here you have Jack Chase, phenomenal murderous soul fighter. Ancient Archie, the old mongoose. Archie Moore, dynamic. Coolidge, Buddy Miller, fantastic fighter. Lloyd Marshall, dynamic. So I just wanted to show you a few of Oakland Billy Smith's opponent. And this is the fight that he fought with Bobby Zander. So I just wanted to show you Oakland Billy Smith. Fantastic fighter. If you haven't heard his name before, believe me, Oakland Billy Smith was a very good fighter. So salute to Oakland Billy Smith. I'm going to put him in my Museum of the Forgotten Fisticuffs series because of the fighters he fought, the time in which he came. He held the California Light Heavyweight Championship. And just remember, African Americans couldn't really get those shots or titles. So you got to take that in consideration. I'm sure he wouldn't have had a problem capturing one of the world titles if given a proper opportunity. So once again, salute to Oakland Billy Smith. Salute to my subscribers. This is Scrapbook Boxing, Museum of the Forgotten Fisticuffs series. All great fighters will never be forgotten on my channel. Salute. May everyone have a great holiday. Peace.